morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Amos speaking to you from our studios at Troy Cable on South Brundage Street. Hoping you had a great weekend. We got Bill Rice Jr. with us. We've got Forrest Lee with us. We're going to have Mike Amos calling in from the beach in just a few moments. And it's time to let everybody know what happened this weekend. I know Troy University won 2 baseball games against a very good team from Georgia Southern. And so that was a big boost for the Troy University baseball team.
We're 10-9. That's
right.
10-9. Lost on Friday night 8-1. Rebounded on Saturday for an 11-8 victory. And Steve Camp still got all 4 in the Final Four.
He's going to win. He's going to win the bracket contest.
And they defeated Georgia Southern yesterday 8-4. On Wednesday night, they'll travel to Montgomery, Alabama. They'll play Alabama State at Riverwalk Stadium at 6 p.m.
Awesome.
So Troy will play.
And you know, I want to, while we are on that subject, I want to make sure that everybody knows that it's going to be a party up there. They're going to have a lot of good food and be able to watch the Troy team play baseball, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the Riverwalk is a beautiful venue.
It sure is, no question about it, and we're looking forward to it. Of course, what else do we got going on?
Well, the Lady Trojans swept
starting
Georgia
April 1st,
State
all your local county and school board
11-6 and 7-1 in softball. And the Lady Trojans will play in the Lady Volunteer Challenge in Knoxville, Tennessee this weekend coming up. They'll play Saturday at 11 o'clock versus Furman, and then 4 o'clock versus the Tennessee Lady Vols. On Sunday, they'll play Furman at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they will play Tennessee at 12:30.
Play Tennessee twice.
They'll play Tennessee twice, so that's the ladies softball team. And I believe they're like 21-6. And the Lady Trojans will play at UAB next week.
Okay.
Hey.
Good morning. How you doing?
Got a big day for basketball with the Troy Lady Trojans, and then you got Alabama tonight.
That's right. Alabama, I was going to make that trip up there and decided I was going to do it, and then I changed my mind later on. But I had no idea I would have been staying into Monday, actually into Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gosh, I couldn't have gone. I've been way too many days gone. We were going to drive up there on Friday and spend all those days going up there, and the whole day going up there, and then find out that they play again on if they won, they play again on Monday.
Yeah, usually it's Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday.
Well, I reckon
all logistics they had to do it this way.
Yeah, they had something to do with it. Now, also for you people in the Dothan area today, I want you to know that Troy University athletics will be hosting a NCAA watch party in Dothan, Troy, and Montgomery for. They're going to have one in Troy and then in Montgomery, and it's going to be a good opportunity to watch the Lady Trojans in basketball tonight.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Morning, guys. Bud from Luverne. How y'all?
Good.
Big
Tell
Bud.
us about it,
Hey, Bud, what's your last name?
Thomas?
Bud Thomas. Did you graduate at Luverne?
No, Holland Home.
Oh, so you're a flying
squadron. He's a flying squadron. He's the enemy.
Listen,
What?
I don't know in all the years of basketball that there's a bigger day in the state of Alabama as far as college basketball than today. You've got Troy taking on Texas A&M, Alabama taking on North Carolina in the women's bracket, then you got Alabama and Maryland playing tonight. I don't know if there's a bigger day in Alabama, state of Alabama, in college basketball than today.
No.
You know,
What would make it bigger if Auburn had been as good as they've been in the past couple of years and was in it? And UAB looked for a long time like they would have the team in it, but they must have faded at the end.
Yeah.
I can't stay long, but it's just great to be an Alabama. You know, the lady gymnastics won the SEC championship this weekend, and Like Coach Oates says, we're not a basketball or a football school. We're a championship school. But I want to run something by you guys. I'm gonna date me and probably Mike Amos, Forrest. Bill, you may remember. I don't know how old you really are, but everybody wants to talk about the great times with Alabama basketball. And everybody wants to go back into history when Alabama lost to an undefeated Indiana in the finals in the tournament in '76 with Leon Douglas in that bunch. Yeah. And I go back to basketball with Alabama back when they rebroadcasted Alabama games in the late '60s and the early '70s on PBS. But the season that stands out to me in the game, and y'all probably don't know where I'm going with this, is January the 28th, 1983, when Coach Wimp Sanderson carried the Crimson Tide for a matchup against number 1 ranked UCLA on a Friday night, CBS, 10 o'clock, and pulled off the upset. But here's the key, here's the factor on this right here. This was 2 days after Coach Bryant had passed away. Wimp went to Miss Mary Harmon Bryant and they were going to cancel the game because Coach Bryant's funeral was that Friday. And she persuaded him into going and taking his team. And that game to me just, of all games in Alabama basketball history, that one will stick with me more than any.
I did not realize you went back that far, back to '83. But let me just say this: I can't remember it. I feel like Mike is on the other line. Mike, you on the other line?
Yeah.
Do you remember that in '83 playing UCLA?
Yeah.
Beat them 70-67.
I've heard of that game.
I remember it. I watched it. Yep, I remember it, Bud.
And for some reason, I don't know, maybe I'm losing it.
Let me tell you about that club in '83. They had also beaten, in the previous weeks, number 10 Georgetown with Patrick Ewing.
That's correct.
And number 3 Kentucky. They ended up the season at 20-12, and the disappointing thing in that was, you want to talk about the Sweet 16 and losing to Providence. Coach Sanderson and them got in the NCAA tournament on a 20-12 record.
Lamar.
Lost to Georgia in the tournament. And then they went out and lost to Lamar big time.
Lamar, I didn't even know they even played anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did back in '83, but they lost like 72-50, and that was
73-50. Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up.
That's pretty good.
You know, that had to be the greatest moments in Alabama. Did they beat Kentucky that year too?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they beat Kentucky, ranked number 3 in Kentucky. They ended up.
Who won the national championship in '83?
Houston. No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
North Carolina State.
Yeah. Okay. On that last shot.
They beat Jama Slammer. That's exactly right.
That was the great ones.
Valvano, Jimmy Valvano.
Yeah. That was his last year run.
They beat Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler.
Yeah. How that team won is they kept fouling people at the end of games, and their opponents kept missing fouling, clutch foul shots.
I tell you, that was that right there was a good reflex of what a great team that was that Alabama had, and their record was not that great.
No, they finished the season at 20-12. Well, they entered the tournament with 20-12, coming second in the SEC tournament to Georgia. Hugh Durham was the coach at Georgia, and they just and I, for the sake of me, cannot remember the name of the Georgia.
You know who might have been on those staff, Bud, was Troy's legendary coach Don Maestri.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And listen, Coach Newton had some great assistants. I mean, he had Wimp. He had I'm gonna throw a name out to pass, Benny Dees.
Yeah. Boy, you hit one there. Yes, sir.
Coach Hobbs. I don't know if Coach David Hobbs was on that staff or not, but I know he was later on down the road. And, you know, Hobbs, after his drastic years or two there at Alabama, went on to be a great assistant at Kentucky with Tubby Smith.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
I just wanted to bring that back.
Well, I tell you what, those are good memories, and I'm glad you did. And I remember Benny Dees very well. But you remember Benny Dees. Benny left and went out to Wyoming, didn't he?
Went to New Orleans.
New Orleans, okay.
No, you're right. Wyoming, exactly. You're exactly right. It was
How
Wyoming.
many 3-pointers do you think all those guys can make tonight to win?
God, they're going to have to do better than what they done Saturday.
Well,
You know,
John Petty is playing horrible basketball right now for Alabama.
playing
He doesn't
horrible
start shooting
basketball, but Mikey's playing good defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's got to make some shots.
Yeah,
Now,
but you're right. They've got to make some shots because everybody was looking Saturday for Bama to have to face UConn, and Maryland pulls off the upset and beats UConn. But I tell you, the team I enjoyed watching this weekend was Loyola Chicago. They
Yes, sir.
season and got some great athletes.
They got a big guy. They got a big guy there that surprised me.
They got a big guy, and it just kills me how now, of course, if Bama loses, and who's the other team that play? LSU's got Michigan. If Bama and LSU can pull off the upset, then the SEC will be mentioned as a strong basketball conference. But I'm just afraid both of those teams tonight, Bama and LSU, will lose because we can't continue to win on defense. And Maryland's very athletic. They tall and lanky.
What year did you graduate at Highland Home, Mr. Bud?
77.
Well, you're the same age that I am. I remember as a little kid, Hut Watley.
Hud Watley, old number 44.
He scored. Goshen, when I was a manager, when I was in 7th, 8th grade, Highland Home beat Goshen 30-0. He scored every point.
The Flying
Hut Watley.
Squadron, the blue and the gold.
The blue and the gold, that's the original color.
That's
So
right.
Guys, I got to go. I just wanted to touch
Hey, well,
base
let me
with
tell
you.
you this. Let me say this, Bud. Call every day. We'd love to hear from you.
Well, if I get a chance,
If you get a
I will.
chance,
It's great talking to y'all.
We'd love for you to be a part of this show. You
Go
really
Trojans.
we love those old
Roll
memories.
Tide.
Listen, let's just hope the three teams can pull it off today. I really would like to see Troy, Bama women, and Bama men pull it off, but it's a tall task, especially with Troy.
And Troy plays at what time, guys?
Yeah. Troy plays at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock today, so hopefully a lot of people will be watching. Is that going to be on primetime TV, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on ESPN2, I believe.
Oh, man, that is great exposure.
Great exposure for
And
the.
the Bama game.
And then the Alabama game comes on at 7:30.
Every time you call in, every time Bud calls in, Dad, you got the Bud Amos show again.
Yeah, that's right. Have the Blood and Amos show. That's right. We'll start it back up.
Blood in the saddle.
Got started, but listen, let me run, guys.
Culture.
I'll call y'all.
Well, let me tell you this, my friend. You're a real friend of this show, and we want to hear from you. We enjoy it.
Y'all have a good day.
Tell your friends to watch.
Now, who would have brought up that memory right there? Other
Wow,
than
right.
Bud from Luverne and boy, that
Bud
was
Thomas.
wonderful.
I can
Bud
remember that. I
Thomas.
can remember that game, and there was a big tall guy that started for Alabama that didn't start much that had a good game, and then there was a 3-point shooter or outside shooter that had a real big game.
All right, you folks from Luverne that are listening today, Luverne High School had a good team even back into the early 60s for Luverne High School. And they had, but they were juniors. Troy had one of their best teams ever. They started William Davis. They started Jimmy Rose. Jimmy Rose was 6'1". He was the only tall guy on the team. If you consider that tall, Freddie Howard was a guard. Ronald Giddings, the great Ronald Giddings, probably the best basketball player that's ever come through Troy High School, was Ronald Giddings. And then Herbie Hunter, the only junior on the team. They played against a Luverne team, which was full of juniors that really were really good, but they couldn't beat Troy. Troy was a senior league team, but boy, they played them unbelievable games every time they played them that season. Troy went on for the first time ever and went to Tuscaloosa and played in the big show.
Wow.
Back then, if you made it to Tuscaloosa to the state tournament, you had really done something. Troy lost to the great Eufaula team in the finals of the district play, but back then they let the runner-up go to the state. So Troy went on and made it to the state tournament, lost to Murphy of Mobile, a school that had 4,000 students. But it was a heyday of great basketball under Leon Hillier, a great coach at Charleston, at then Troy High School.
Did Cheryl Crow play basketball?
Cheryl Crow sure played basketball. He's a very good basketball player.
But he wasn't on that team.
No, he wasn't on that team.
They called him Rook.
They call him Rook, but he wasn't on that team. He was on the team before them, and Cheryl Crow at one time held the school record.
Well, I was pretty sure he did, and was a great player because he sits in front of me at church, and I saw him yesterday.
He's a great guy too. I'll tell you that. And he's the All-American in my mind. He was my hero, and of course he held the school record for a long time until Steve McMillan broke it.
Probably
31 points. He scored 31 points one night and
Cheryl
had
did.
the record.
one of the most dominant players in Luverne history, in my opinion, basketball, was Johnny Seawright.
I remember Johnny Seawright.
He was about
big tall
6'8".
guy.
He's a preacher now, and in Highland Home would probably be LeMaine Wilson, and whether or not he's still playing, he may still be playing European ball, but LeMaine's getting in his 30s. But those are two.
What was my guy I mentioned yesterday, Friday on the show from Luverne that was a good basketball. But one of them was the late Jim Sanford, and Sanford was a real good basketball player at Luverne High School, and he was just a junior on that team. And they had a guy named Botts.
What about
Butts.
Sammy Ray
A guy
Tompkins?
named Butts, that was one of the forwards.
Sammy Ray Thompson, you ever heard of him?
Who?
Sammy Ray Tompkins?
No, not Ray Thompson. I don't know him.
He was honored in 1955. Johnny Seawright.
Yeah.
Dante Hall. Of course, Dante Hall played at Luverne.
But I
forgot about Dante.
Back
Excuse
in
me.
the 60s, early 60s, and
I'll still take.
and the other one, I
Seawright.
mentioned him. We talked about him on the show. What a good athlete he was. We'll remember. So
You talked about Steve McMillan holding the record at Charles Henderson for points.
Yeah.
A lot of people might not know that he became the CEO of the Sara Lee Company in Chicago. That's a Fortune 500 company, and we associate it with the Sara Lee cakes. But Sara Lee owns dozens and dozens of brands that you'd be very familiar with, like Legs, Pantyhose. And, it's a huge company, and he was the top boss of
He was
Sara
also
Lee.
president and CEO of the vacuum cleaner company. What's the name of it?
Hoover or some other name?
What?
Hoover, maybe?
Not Hoover.
What was
Electrolux. He was also president and CEO of Electrolux.
what style pantyhose did Joe Namath wear? Didn't he pet?
Yeah,
Didn't
he
he
did.
do it?
Yeah. And he wore everything. I saw a documentary not long ago, and they were throwing Joe Namath's name out as one of the most commercialized athletes ever. That he made a lot of money for a lot of
That's
companies.
right. Yeah.
He's still doing it. You see him on Fox News doing those Social Security commercials.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly. Help me out, Luverne, with some of those basketball players that were so good back in the heyday of the '60s, and they were playing in what was then a new gym. It had an upper deck to it at Luverne High School.
That's
It
still
was
there.
a nice gym.
They refurbished it not
And
long
they had
ago.
of course, it's named after Sammy Carr now, my old buddy.
Colonel Carr.
And it tickled me we can come up with all those names. And of course, one of them is a guy that just retired a few years back and is still around. And we'll get him. Sorry about being hoarse this morning, but that's the way it is when you're out in this pollen. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on, Forrest.
Well, we're going back to baseball. The Sun Belt tournament in baseball will be held in Montgomery at the end of May, and the Lady Trojans will host the softball tournament here at Troy University May 12th through 15th. That spring break for some schools.
What did you say about the tournament?
The Sun Belt softball tournament will be held at Troy University
Wonderful.
May 12th through 15th.
Let me tell you this. This might be the best. And we've had some good women's softball teams. but this might be the very best.
Yeah, they're
And
21
why,
and 6. Yeah,
and you know why it might be the very best. What is their record now?
21 and 6, I believe.
21 and 6. Well, let me tell you this: they can pitch. They got a kid from a Johnson kid from Brantley they can pitch. They got a Baker kid from Long High Skipperville that can pitch. They got another pitcher. And when you got 3 strong pitchers and a good defense and a pretty good little hitting team around it, this is the best Troy softball team ever, and I want you to watch it. I believe this Troy team might go a long ways, and I'm proud of them, I tell you.
They are 22 and 6. I'm sorry, 22 and 6.
So that means they swept Georgia State.
They did, sure did. And
Oh yeah, they've swept everybody so far in the conference. Isn't that right? In the conference play.
I believe that's correct. They play Furman and Tennessee twice this weekend in the Lady Vol Classic, and then next week they will go to Birmingham to play UAB in a single game midweek, and then we will host Georgia Southern next weekend.
Oh man, that's gonna be
That'll
good.
be a big,
It's gonna be great.
big time. So
And can look forward to watching this Troy softball team, and we're proud of them. I tell you, no question about it.
there's not much high
Yeah, I was keeping up with the baseball. I'm glad the baseball team took 2 or 3. They really needed to have a.
Let me tell you, that was against a powerful team from Georgia Southern. I hope we play that well when we play them over there, but they've got a real good team, and to beat them 2 out of 3, you did something. I promise you. They got a home run.
How bad is everybody's bracket? I had Illinois playing for the national championship, and I had Texas in the Final Four. I'm not looking very good.
I'm not looking very good either, Michael. I had
I
had Texas in the Final Four. I had Ohio State in the final game. So that's 2 that you just throw them out. So I was telling Mike coming in the studio that, my bracket's awful. It's been blown up. But I think about most people in America's brackets have been blown up too. All these upsets.
And it's going
So
to be.
you got to think Alabama, if they win, will play UCLA. I mean, UCLA won their play-in game, and then they beat BYU really bad. And now the upset of upsets, Abilene Christian out of Texas beat the state school Texas in a huge upset.
That guy's going to get fired. He hasn't won a game. Everybody talks about how good a coach this guy is. So, what is his name?
Shaka Smart.
Shaka Smart. Hey, he's got a strange name, and he also can't win a tournament game. And I would think those Texas folks wouldn't like it. He's lost 3 straight.
I mean, Alabama's got a great chance to go to the Elite Eight, though, now.
They really do. Against a guy that has a lot of Alabama credentials. He coached at Jacksonville State and been in our gym here many times. And I always sort of liked him as a coach. He carries himself very well. And but I think Alabama is going to win that ball game and be in a Sweet 16. What do you think?
They're favored by 6 points, so we'll see.
And something we want to mention.
Yeah, the issue with Alabama, though, is like we mentioned before, the three-point shooting is really off right now. And thank goodness they have Quinterly that can really drive to the basket. And Herb Jones played a great game against Iona, but athletically, they're going against a Maryland. That's a huge difference athletically between Iona and Maryland. Maryland's going to have just as many athletes as Alabama.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to shoot tonight to win.
And they're just 16 and 13. They just had a mediocre year, but hey, they're playing well at the right time. How many times you've heard that said?
All the matters.
Well, does Oklahoma have a chance against Gonzaga? Yes or no?
No.
All right, Creighton, number 5, Creighton against Ohio. Creighton?
Yeah, Virginia had another huge upset loss. They were the ACC regular season champions.
Yeah. Then you got Southern Cal versus Kansas. Oregon versus Iowa today. That's a 7 seed versus.
Oregon didn't even have to play a game and got to advance. That was the big thing over the weekend. Virginia Commonwealth had COVID issues and had to forfeit the game.
That's right.
Now, who they bring in there on that?
Nobody.
Nobody just forfeit the game.
Michigan versus LSU.
Great game.
Colorado Number 5, Colorado versus number 4, Florida State, as far as seeding.
Yeah, the Pac-12 is doing great, aren't they,
They're
Michael?
doing real good.
Yeah, I think they're undefeated. Oregon State won again last night.
You know, y'all all like LSU for some reason. Michigan's gonna beat LSU.
Then,
They're gonna wear LSU out.
yeah. Then, like Mike already mentioned, UCLA versus Abilene Christian. So,
But you know that.
Coach Cross mentioned Abilene Christian had a great program.
Who did? Oh, yeah, Coach
Cross was on the show.
Sure did. 23-4, and you know, played that.
Did y'all see how that game ended though? I mean, like Texas makes the 3-pointer, they go up. Abilene Christian guard drives, gets a shot block, and with 1.5 seconds, the guy's going up trying to make a miracle shot, and the Texas guy hit his arm, and they won from the free throw line.
He hit 2 free throws?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they won the game.
Whew, those are clutch free throws.
Boy.
The guy was at 58%, 58% on the year shooting free throws.
God, that is some.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, I don't know if y'all watched that Loyola Chicago game, and I had Illinois playing for the national championship. They were probably the hottest team in the country.
They can shoot it.
Chicago just dominated them. And they're up by double digits the whole game.
I tell you, a team that's been a sleeper, and they got the coach's son or grandson.
No, it's the son, Boeheim's son.
What is Boeheim doing with a son in college? Boeheim is 80 years old, Mike.
He must have a second wife.
what's his first name?
How old would you say Boeheim was?
Jim Boeheim?
Maybe find that out. This is going to be interesting.
But Boeheim's in the 70s for sure.
I think he's in more than his
High
70s.
Yeah.
I think he's in his 80s almost. Check this out. That would be something.
He is 76 years old.
Oh, I thought he was older than
And
that.
he's got a 20-year-old son, so he
Got a 20-year-old son. That means he's 50 what?
56 when he had his.
When he had the son.
Let's
He
see.
scored 30 in the first game, 25 in the second game.
He's a good player, no question.
Yeah, very good
and
player.
listen to this. He's an 88% free throw shooter.
All right, he's got 3 sons. He and his wife, Julie. All right, his son, Jimmy, plays for Cornell. Jamie is a forward at the University of Rochester. And Buddy is a guard playing for his father at Syracuse. All right, he has twins, Buddy and Jamie. And it's Buddy who plays. Buddy has a twin brother,
Yeah.
but he plays for somebody
really?
else. Yeah, he's got 3 boys.
You reckon why? Where he lacked the ability to play at that
I
level?
wonder why they at least both didn't. One of them didn't walk on. Obviously, one of them was a great player.
Well, he probably wanted to play because
Yeah, that's
maybe one
right.
of them had the talent.
That's right. Coach said, "Son, I don't believe you're gonna be able to make it, but this son does."
Yeah,
You know?
I had West Virginia going a long way too, so that hurt me losing that one.
You know, and he was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2001.
Talking about Boeheim.
Boeheim.
Well, he's a great coach.
Boeheim won a national championship when he had Carmelo Anthony.
Now, you know, they don't look like a team that can play with a run and gun type team, but boy, I tell you, he's got a pretty good team. Well, of course, Troy plays today at 1 o'clock, and we want to mention again those watch times. Let's see what it says here. Troy Athletics will be hosting a NCAA watch party in Dothan, Troy, and Montgomery for Troy women's basketball NCAA tournament game on Monday night. Is it Monday night?
Plus today, Monday afternoon.
Monday afternoon. There's something wrong there. The Trojans face Texas A&M.
Actually, it's going to be at 5 o'clock. I thought it was at 1.
Okay, so 5 o'clock.
All right, good. Let's correct all that. The game is at 5 o'clock, and the game will be televised on ESPN2. The watch party in Dothan will be at Buffalo Wings on the Montgomery Highway, while in Troy will be at the Half Shell, and in Montgomery, listen to it, would be at Wenzel's Oyster House. So
Good place, yeah.
those are 3 nice places where there'll be free food.
Wetzel.
And, hey, I wonder what kind of food Wenzel's going to be serving. That sounds pretty good. The sections, Troy sections will be marked off with decorative tables. Members of the Troy athletic staff and Troy cheerleaders will be there. Also, at all three locations. And T-Roy will be on hand at the Troy watch party. So that's going to be fun. And then on November the 15th, Troy is number 15th in the country. Did y'all know that? They're ranked 15th in the country, 22-5. This is as of.
But they're seeded
Monday.
15th.
And then of course Texas A&M. The sad part of it is Texas A&M ranked number 2 in the country.
They lost us twice, I think.
It's a that is a 15 seed against a 2 seed. Troy's not ranked 15th.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm sorry about that. That's right.
And I think Troy should have been seeded about 13th. So
Yeah.
it's tough that we got to play Texas A&M. And
that's my bad. Out of the.
The issue for Troy is always against. They could compete against the Sun Belt, schools and a non-Power 5, but when they play a Power 5, usually it's not even close. So I just hope they can make it close tonight.
And then if they did win, they'd either play Iowa State or the number 10 seed or Michigan State. So, or number 10 seed Michigan State against the Iowa State seeded number 7. So
If they did win, this would be the biggest basketball upset maybe in the history of women's basketball.
it would be huge.
Yeah, there's not many that get beat number 1 or number 2 seeds.
And
you
this
know,
team-
in women's too, women's don't have
disparity.
upsets. I mean, the men, you see, as we have seen, you see low-seeded teams getting beat by high-seeded teams all the time. But men and women, it seems to go by the chalk.
I can't figure out how they're doing this. Like some arenas have about 6,000 people, some have 2,000 people. It's kind of crazy. Like Alabama won't play tonight in Hinkle Fieldhouse, where Butler University campus is. Now they're going to play where the Indiana Pacers play.
Mm-hmm.
So they're even moving around to different gyms.
And if I was with Johnny Williams, I'd be moving around with him. Did you know that?
I don't get it.
Hey,
I read that there were 1,250 at the Alabama first game, or maybe 1,500.
So Mr. Johnny,
It's amazing. You watch Oral Roberts upset Florida last night. They're going to the Sweet 16. They're out of Tulsa. I don't know how many fans they had the game, but they had a lot. And then the students on campus, there's probably 500.
they were going
celebrating
nuts.
together after the win. But that's an amazing prospect for that school.
Yeah, no question about it.
Who transferred from Oral Roberts to Alabama that we all know?
Mark Gothard.
That's right.
Yeah. Boy, you're gurus. We got so many gurus here. I don't know which one to answer.
I'll tell you.
to.
I got a story. He transferred. Jim Farmer was a Sigma Nu, like we were. He didn't go over to the house much, but technically he was a Sigma Nu. Came over every once in a while, and he had just, I think, been a redshirt freshman, and then Godfrey transferred in. I'd read the story that Alabama's getting this transfer. That Daddy was a coach or an athletic director from Mobile, and he came over to the house, and they played basketball back there on the Sigma Nu house. And I remember him playing against our houseboy. We had a houseboy that was really, really good.
Don't be talking about the houseboy, please. Refer to him a little different.
He was our custodian.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Sorry, our custodian could hang with Jim Farmer and Mark
He
Godfrey.
could shoot it, could he?
Yeah.
Now,
So you're telling me while Jim Farmer was at Alabama, he played basketball and went through Rush? Like he actually went through Rush?
No, he didn't go through. He didn't go through the pledge program or all that stuff. He came over.
I was about to say, I don't know if he'd had time to do that.
No, I barely saw him. But he's from Dothan, and the Sigma News back then were just full of Dothan boys. So all the Dothan boys from that were Sigma News were buddies with Farmer.
now let me ask you this: what high school did Jim Farmer
Houston
play
Academy.
At?
Mm-hmm.
He played at the private school
Houston
in Dothan,
Academy.
Houston Academy.
Yeah, it was a
And
big.
not only he played at Alabama, he came out of a private school.
To play for the Lakers. I remember one time I was watching the dating game. He was on the dating game.
He became a country singer too. Yeah.
He went out there. You know, we could have old Jim Farmer on. You know, I've got to get Stedman Shealy on.
Jim Farmer got arrested not too long ago. I don't know if he's in
Oh yeah.
No,
well, I tell you who I want on this show, Mike, is a great one, Steady Man Shealy.
Oh yeah.
Boy, he was one of my favorite players.
He was. Me
You
too.
know, probably one of my five. Let's see, I would say Marlowe and Rice and
Musso.
Musso, the great Johnny Musso was my favorite player, and
You didn't like
and then Stedman
Leroy
Shealy, and then Leroy Jordan was there, and Stedman Shealy. Those would be my top players. Maybe,
You know who my favorite?
I got to get Stabler in there, so I'm going to take Rice out as far as quality of players. All right, so I'm going to take Musso, I'm going to take Stabler, I'm going to take Stedman Shealy, I'm going to take Leroy Jordan, and I got one more left.
I'd add Devontae Smith from this year. I mean, you talk about a clutch, tough
I'm just
player.
talking about my favorite players.
No, Devontae's not one of your favorite
Joe
players?
Namath. Who now? Who?
Joe Willie.
Joe Namath would be one. Those are five pretty good players, aren't they? And we're great players at Alabama. We're going to take a short break. We're going to be right back.
Starting April 1st, all your local county and school board meetings will be moving to BBTV Channel 17. Catch Pike County Commission, Troy City Council, and school board meetings live on Facebook, YouTube, and BBTV, brought to you by Troy Cable.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Buddy, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here. Thank you.
Remarkable people, remarkable care.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you were out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson Satisfaction is real.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits, and small businesses. Max is honored to be a part of your story. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Back to our show, brought to you by A1 Services. Terry Moats, one of my very good friends, he's Marshall Boyd Moats'
he's a
his
fine
son,
man.
and so that ought to tell you right there what kind of fella he is. and of course he's got heating and air conditioning.
I need to call him.
And people are wondering which way to go: heat, air, heat. Which one to turn on? And of course, Forrest, look at him right there. He's got his head cut. And tell us about it, Forrest.
Hey, it's still coming out a little bit, but
have you sold any cake?
Well, last week we had 10 pies, and they made about $600.
Yeah.
And this weekend, early Sunday morning, I got up and cooked 2 rum cakes.
Oh boy!
I gave one to Miss Irene Carter, her daughter's Kara, that's in Texas.
Sure.
The other special lady is named Carola Jeter.
I love Carola Jeter.
Carola Jeter's daughter Trina has been diagnosed with brain tumors.
Oh my gosh.
She had surgery and she's still in Montgomery and they're waiting on some results.
Well, we sure hope.
But pray for
her.
But it just hit me. I said, who else besides Miss Irene? And I delivered Miss Carola's cake Sunday morning. We had a nice visit, and she is just married to Wallace. She was married to Mr. Wallace Jeter.
One of the great ones of all time at Luverne High School, Wallace Jeter.
They had 2 girls, Jennifer, married to a Smith fella, and Trina's married to Jeffrey Hale. And anyway.
Of course, we're looking for that starting 5 on that Luverne basketball team. Well, tell us about your hair, man. You've gotten national exposure on Facebook.
Well, anyway, it's been a real good response, and I just got a text a while ago. Somebody wants to mail a check to Stephanie Snyder, and she's been collecting the funds and then giving it to her family. But people that have given me
a wonderful thing you've done.
People have given me like $400 or $500 for the haircut. But I have no idea what the totals, because people are still sending them in. But
I tell you this, it's been a good program and something that we've enjoyed.
Sounds like you've raised. It's going to be over $1,000 for this family.
We'll do some things for you out there. You know, some of the things that you need to raise money for, helpful causes, is so important to us. We want everybody to. Be in this thing together and
well, I
support
mean, some people that are going through these rough times, and you don't think about all the incidental expenses they have, and this is what Forrest and all the other people are helping out with.
Here's my next vision, I guess you'd say.
Drop a pin. Well, this is laid back.
But anyway, maybe one day develop a singing. Instead of Dancing with the Stars, have about 10 to 15 or 20 singers to come in and sing one song.
Yeah.
And do a benefit, a $10 admission.
Like an American Idol type thing.
Yeah, just do a $10 admission to a place we have here in Troy.
I was telling the guys
just do a singing thing.
Off camera, I was in a
whatever
fundraiser when I lived in Montgomery. It was a knockoff of Dancing with the Stars and for the American Cancer Society. And this lady in Montgomery, she would recruit celebrities in Montgomery. I was recruited because I was the editor of the Montgomery Independent, and then we took about 8 weeks of dancing lessons, ballroom dance lessons from Fred Astaire Dance Studio, and then we went to the Capital City Club and had to dance in front of hundreds of people at a nice formal dinner, and then everybody was drinking and then watching us do our dance, 2-minute dance, and then people voted with their donations. But I thought I was so cocky. He said, "Oh, I can dance," and I can really say that dancing in front of all those people when I really didn't know my dance that well was just nerve-wracking. But I survived it somehow.
Yeah, 8 weeks of training. That's a long time.
Oh yeah,
8 weeks of training.
And it was just hard.
What were the dances like? The foxtrot or something?
Yeah. All the dances, the foxtrot and the waltz and the what did I do? I can't even remember. I think I might have did the foxtrot.
How about the bop?
It was all.
Mike Amos was a good dancer. Maybe you could enter that.
Oh, I love to dance. I love
was
to bop.
not one of the best dancers, but I raised the most money and had a lot of friends that came and supported me. And so the point of all that story is if you come up with a neat fundraiser with a little twist to it, a hook, you can raise a lot of money. And it was fun for everybody that went and watched it.
You put my friend Joe Rape on the floor with me, and I'll dance with anybody, anywhere. Hey, she is my dance partner and been that way for all my life since the 5th grade.
Guess whose birthday is today?
Joe Ray?
No. It's kind of
sweet. One of the sweetest
well,
women
this guy
I know anywhere.
Yeah, Miss Joe, sweet. But this big fella, strong fella, lives in Greenville, Alabama. He was from Columbus, Georgia. Rock Island's birthday is today. I think
Happy birthday,
he turns
Rock
70,
Island.
I believe. And he's married
Sonny,
to Nancy.
if you ever got in his way, you were hit. You were hit very viciously.
Rock Island from Greenville, Alabama.
He had a son named Little Rock,
Rhett.
didn't he?
Rhett. He's a big old boy too, but
and has a beautiful partner.
Nancy.
Beautiful,
I don't know what Nancy's
sweet
making,
girl.
But anyway, Rock.
I tell you what.
Who's your national or today's celebrity day?
Well, I was thinking about that, and let me tell you what. I had a great visit at my house recently, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it in a few minutes. But the name I came up with, and the name one of the great players in Luverne history, Lamar Penn. Is one of the other players? Jim Sanford, Lamar Penn. You had the Butts guy. Then you got to have two more. You had the guard. Who's that guard out there that was a real good player on that Luverne team?
Was it a sport? Bunch of sports over there.
No, it wasn't a sport, but
Tomlin.
No, it wasn't Tomlin.
Hawkins.
What?
Hawkins.
No, it wasn't Doug Hawkins.
He was in the 50s.
But they were, of course, a very good basketball team, and they went up against that team from Troy, which was a bunch of seniors going up against a bunch of juniors. The seniors won every time, but it was always a battle between and then Luverne later on the next year had a real good basketball team, and they went. I don't know if they went to the state or not, but they did real well. So,
your basketball schedule today at 11 a.m. on CBS. We'll have Iowa playing against Oregon. Oregon's got a huge advantage because they won due to forfeit, so they got fresh legs playing Iowa. I don't know how that's fair, but it's going to happen, I guess. Then you got Oklahoma playing Gonzaga on CBS at 1:40. After that on CBS today, you got Abilene Christian playing UCLA. UCLA is only a 4.5-point favorite against Abilene Christian. Interesting line there.
Hey, you're right. You're right. When you sort of like when you see sort of like UCLA in this game.
You would think so, but they've had to play two other games. They had to play a play-in game, and then they had to play BYU.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
It's going to be interesting to see how their legs are. Creighton will host Ohio on TNT at 5:10. Great game tonight on CBS at 6:10. Michigan's only a 5-point favorite against LSU. After that, at 6:45 on TBS, you'll have Florida State only a 1.5-point favorite against Colorado. And then the later games tonight, Alabama will be on at 7:45.
7:45.
5.5-point favorite against Maryland.
And what channel they going to be on? What channel they going to be on tonight?
TNT.
TNT.
Oh,
and then
gosh.
CBS at 8:40. You'll have Kansas playing against USC. USC's a 1-point favorite against Kansas.
Oh, boy. You would think just on tradition alone, Kansas would win that game, don't you?
But the Pac-12 is doing
Oregon,
great.
That's really interesting, not having to play a game.
I don't know what else you
Oregon
could do.
and who are they going against?
Iowa, who's really good.
I thought they had teams that were ready to jump in if somebody had to cancel, but I guess they had to be a certain seed.
Oregon and Iowa is a big one, and Alabama and Maryland at 7:45. And who do you like there, Mike?
Well, I mean, I like Alabama just due to the fact that Maryland's 17-13, and didn't have the greatest year in the world, but Alabama's got to shoot better. Like I was telling Bud, you got to consistently.
See, the shooting's going to come though. You know it's going to come sometime And
it's just a matter of when, I guess. But you got to like Alabama, I would say. But it's going to be a great game, I would think. Because I would imagine Maryland, from what I've read, is a really good defensive team, can really guard.
What's the line on that game?
It's 5.
So
5.5.
So 5.5 against Maryland.
I think Alabama's got the nerves out and due to shoot better. Normally I'm scared of my team losing, but I'm going to say Alabama's going to cover this one.
So Gonzaga plays at 1 o'clock today. Ohio
and there's games all day today, which is great for a basketball fan. I mean, shoot together games starting at 11 o'clock.
No, I've got to be confused here because Creighton didn't make the tournament, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Great Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays, listen to my.
They still in it. Okay.
The Blue Jays, I like that.
Well, you're just confused because they're playing Ohio.
That's right. That's right. Kansas and Southern Cal is a big game. And,
I mean, what this proves to you is that if Troy could ever find a way to make the NCAA tournament again in basketball, which I don't know if that'll ever happen in the program is right now. But I mean, you could upset a team on the men's side.
Yes, it only takes 2 or 3 core players. Yeah, of course. I've always thought that where Troy could make its mark is baseball or basketball because it doesn't take as many key players. In baseball, if you just have 2 great pitchers, and in basketball, if you got 3 guards that can shoot and take it to the hoop, you can beat anybody.
All right, here's the NIT setup.
Yeah.
They're playing in Frisco, Texas. Colorado State will play North Carolina State. This will be March the 25th. Colorado State versus North Carolina State. Boise State versus Memphis. And on the other side of the bracket, Mississippi State versus Richmond. And Western Kentucky versus Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
That's
Mike,
all on Wednesday.
I cannot ever see.
Cunningham and Marcus Grant at Western Kentucky.
That's right.
That is them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that means Ole Miss must have lost their first game because they were number 1.
No, they won their first game. They won their first game. They hit a shot late.
No, Ole Miss lost to Louisiana
they
Tech.
did lose?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
They did lose to Louisiana Tech.
Sure did.
Yeah, well, they wanted to be in the NCAA tournament. They were probably heartbroken. They probably didn't want to play them then, too.
I tell you one of those that was familiar to me was Memphis being playing Boise. I can't see Boise beat Memphis. Wouldn't you think that Memphis would have a lot more athletes than Boise?
Yeah, Memphis has a rich basketball tradition.
They're 16-8. Memphis is.
Their coach is Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
I know it. You reckon why they didn't make the tournament? Evidently they had to win, didn't they?
Well, they lost in a heartbreaking game at Houston. Houston knocked them out.
And Houston, I watched them last night. Nothing special at all about Houston. I mean, Rutgers.
Well, they came all the way back and made it to the Sweet 16, so now it's too bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I'll say this. I mean, if you look at the upset, I mean, I've had North Carolina playing well. Wisconsin beat them by 20. North Texas, huge upset over Purdue. I mean, the list goes on and on. Oral Roberts beating Ohio State. I had Ohio State going a long way. Oregon State blew out Tennessee. Then they beat Oklahoma State, a really good Oklahoma State team.
What happened to you? Yeah. How many of their great shooter get in that final game?
Katie Cunningham? I don't know. I'll have to look.
I'm going to ask y'all a question. Can y'all imagine a vertical jump of 46.5 feet in a combine?
That's
46.5 inches.
That's
almost 4 feet.
Who did that?
A wide receiver from Illinois, Josh Emeobebe.
Yeah.
It's a.
I understand that.
He's from Illinois, but he played high school football at North Gwinnett in Swanee, Georgia. But he broke a record that was set in 2005 by North Carolina safety Gerald Sensabaugh, who leaped 46 inches.
Yeah.
But 46.5 inches Stand still, vertical.
Standing still up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
4 feet.
Phil Mickelson, you got a long way to go, buddy.
That means he could probably jump over a Volkswagen, couldn't
he? Could probably jump there and put his feet there, jump.
Yeah, exactly. Boy,
that is amazing.
46 and
then the Auburn wide receiver ran 4.2640.
Yeah, that's right. Now let me ask you a personal question. Can he shoot? I mean, or can he catch a football? Can he catch a football? Now, he can dunk it any way he wants to now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember.
Alabama started spring practice up in Tuscaloosa, so David made a report. Bryce Young, of course, is getting the first team routes right now.
Yeah.
And quarterbacks. So that's going to be interesting for the Alabama spring game on the 17th. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to attend that.
Isn't there like 5?
That would be fun.
Isn't there 5 projected starters that's not playing at all this spring due to surgeries?
Yeah,
I read that article too.
Who are they? Who are they?
One of them's a guard.
Mexico.
Yeah, there's some. They were starters, but I think these just hold them out.
Good. Messi, I understand he played most of the last year injured. It's amazing he did as well as he did.
Of course, Troy was supposed to scrimmage on Saturday, but I think they just had a regular practice.
No, they did. It was no real hitting. They'll do the hitting the next few scrimmages, but I was out there, and let me just say this: if we're expecting a good team, by the way they look, Troy's going to be loaded. I mean, that is the prettiest football team, the prettiest red helmet. They've got a red helmet that just glows in the sunshine. I mean, it's a beautiful. The look of this Troy team. The look of this Troy team is magnificent.
Colors Cardinal.
What now?
Aren't we considered Cardinal silver and?
Yeah, I tell you what, this helmet, the color of it is just beautiful, and it really is. Troy really looks good on paper. They really do.
Well, they just got a brutal schedule, though.
I know, you're right. You're exactly right. We talked about that. I talked about that with a coach, and that's exactly right. And we were thinking, well, now, do these kids get to play another year?
Yeah, they're all back.
The kids that played last year.
What about that linebacker that made all the tackles? Is he coming back?
I reckon.
I would have gone to play in the SEC if I would have been him, if he would have had the chance. But I think he was going to stay.
And he's not going to try to go to the pros?
Carlton Marshall's only a junior.
No, well, he could go out for the pros, but I guess he's not.
You still transfer out, I guess.
Well, we open up on September.
I think the interesting thing with Troy, though, is I just don't see how you bring in this quarterback transfer from Missouri and him not win the job. I'll be shocked if they bring another. Because they brought in the McNeil kid, the junior college All-American. Last year, he didn't see the field.
They're calling it open.
Surely they know something about this quarterback from Missouri.
They're calling it open, and that means the transfer from Missouri, is considered in the running. Both quarterbacks are considered.
All the quarterbacks had flashes. I mean, the kid from Brantley looked good.
He looks very good. He can throw the football.
He was playing with one of the best performances ever against Arkansas State when he threw for 430 yards.
And you beat Arkansas State at Arkansas State. That's one. I tell you what, that's one of the top 5 or 10, at least 10 victories Troy's ever had right there. That was you go to Arkansas State and beat them like a drum.
Arkansas State went 4-8. They were horrible last year.
But still, at the time,
that was the most impressive win, though, and then so close against Coastal Carolina.
And Mike, and they had two.
Carolina will have to go down. I mean, I think every defense coordinator in the country ought to watch that last drive. I mean, Troy just did not put any pressure on that quarterback. I mean, that is something that I'm sure